Hey YouTube, Maddie's Daddy 12, Team JMT, coming to you guys with the answers to the YuGiOh U-Rule Part 2. I have no shoutouts to give this time because nobody commented with all 3 correct answers, and nobody gave me any video responses, so I'm not going to give you guys shoutouts unless you guys give me just a little bit of effort. So no shoutouts to give this time. Hopefully with the next U-Rule, you guys will take a little more initiative and will make the response videos. So let's go ahead and get into the answers for this segment, or for this segment. Scenario 1 was Ultimate Offering versus Light and Darkness Dragon. I believe the scenario was opponent 1, our player 1 had 2 monsters, Tribute Summons, Light and Darkness Dragon, while Ultimate Offering was already active on the field. So, can this guy still activate Ultimate Offering? Yes, he can. Light and Darkness Dragon cannot negate the effects of continuous cards that were already active on the field before he is summoned. Light and Darkness Dragon has to hit the original activation of the card. So in this case, Ultimate Offering was already active on the card or on the field before Light and Darkness Dragon hit the field. So Light and Darkness Dragon cannot stop his opponent from activating the effect of Ultimate Offering. Scenario 2 was Deck Devastation Virus versus a Mystic Tomato on the field, a Tragodia, and a Chaos in the hand. So, I'll let you guys know now, the OCG and the TCG rule this differently. So, let's go ahead and get into the way the TCG rules this. First off, Mystic Tomato on the field has less than 1500 attack and will be destroyed. Chaos in the hand has greater than 1500 attack and will not be destroyed. So the real question is in Tragodia. Will or will not Tragodia be destroyed by Deck Devastation Virus? Tragodia is a question mark monster, which means it is not searchable by Sanguine, and cards like Mystic Tomato cannot recruit it because it has a question mark attack and defense inside the deck. However, in the TCG, it is treated as having a 0/0 attack and defense in the hand. So in America, Deck Devastation Virus, in fact, can destroy Tragodia, because in America it is treated as having a 0/0 attack and defense, which is of course less than the 1500 that Deck Devastation Virus searches for. However, in the OCG in Japan, it is treated as having a question mark attack and defense in the hand and will not be destroyed because Deck Devastation Virus does not affect question mark. It affects 1500 and less. However, like I said before, we play in the TCG, and in the TCG it is treated as having a 0/0, which will in fact be destroyed by Deck Devastation Virus. So now let's go into Scenario 3, and this one you guys are going to have to bear with me just a little bit because it involved Herald of Perfection, and I have gotten rid of my Herald of Perfections. So my Magician of Black Chaos will be my Herald of Perfection today. So the question was, if I tribute my Reborn Tengu for Chaos the Shadow Monarch and target Herald of Perfection, which of these monsters can Herald of Perfection stop? Which ones can it not? Which one, can it negate both? Can it only negate one? What's the answer to the scenario? So I'm going to give that to you now, and this is another one that I've got to tell you guys is ruled differently in the TCG and in the OCG. But what is same about the TCG and the OCG is Herald of Perfection can activate multiple times in a chain. However, it does not have the ability to interrupt a chain to negate stuff. And what happens here is Tengu and Chaos are both mandatory effects. So as turn player, when I tribute Tengu to summon Chaos, those both have to activate, and they have to activate 1/2, which means the only open spot for Herald of Perfection to hit is Chain Link 3. So that means that Herald of Perfection can only negate whatever ends up on chain link 2. And that is what's different about the OCG and the TCG. So let's talk about the OCG first. The OCG, or in Japan, turn player has the right to choose which one of these mandatory effects goes off first. So turn player can tribute Tengu, summon Chaos, and say Chaos is chain link 1, Tengu is chain link 2, meaning that Herald of Perfection can only negate chain link 2 and cannot negate Chaos, removing Herald of Perfection from the field. However, we live in America and we play by the TCG rules. And according to the TCG, mandatory effects choose themselves. So in order to be tributed, Tengu has to leave the field and then Chaos hits the field. So in the TCG, the mandatory effects choose themselves, and since Tengu leaves the field first and Chaos hits the field second, the chain activates 1, 2, 3, now meaning that Herald of Perfection is the chain link 3 and can negate Chaos, removing it, but cannot negate Tengu, replacing it. So, for you guys that were saying that Herald can activate multiple times, you guys are correct. Herald can activate multiple times, but it cannot interrupt an activating chain, or it cannot interrupt a chain to take a link to negate something. It has to wait until the link is there for it to negate. Alright, so in America, just to clarify this one more time, in America, mandatory effects choose themselves, and Tengu would go 1, Chaos would go 2, leaving the open slot for Herald as chain link 3, which means Herald could then negate Chaos's effect and destroy it, but it still could not activate to stop Tengu from replacing itself. So there you go, guys. That was my U Rules 2, the answers. I hope you guys learned something from this. I hope you guys appreciate it. Like always, subscribe, comment down below, show us how much you love us.